this episode, we are going to be talking about competition versus collaboration. So the title for this episode is Don't Compete, Collaborate. We live in such a time, or those persons that have around me, or the society in which I live in rather, I notice quite a lot of competition amongst peers, even amongst various age groups, to be honest. And sometimes I look at it and think to myself, we could accomplish so much better if we would stop competing and start collaborating. What about getting into relationships where you can see people? I'm not just talking about love relationships, any form of relationship, where you would be so much happier to see someone else who is doing good and you will celebrate them. In the scripture that I read, Luke chapter 5 verses 1 through to 11, we see a perfect example of collaboration. We have fishermen who collaborate with Jesus, who is the identifier. Jesus is the wisdom. Jesus is the one who is the mentor, who was able to spot the talent. So in the scripture, Jesus spots the talent. He chooses the disciple that he wants to follow him because he wants to collaborate. He had a great work to do in the earth, and he didn't want to do it on his own. Do you think that Jesus, the Son of God, didn't have the power and the abilities to work on his own and to get everything done? Most likely he did. But instead, God symbolically chose a team of 12 disciples for a reason. He's teaching us the importance of collaborating, teamwork, and family. Now, this episode is as much as a business, finance, advice episode as much as it is about relationships as well. So, fishermen collaborate with Jesus, who was the door opener in this story, because Jesus knew what he was going to do once the fishermen went back out to send their net. Then they were so blessed that instead of being greedy and keeping it to themselves and holding bitterness in their heart, they invited others, their partners, the other boat nearby, to come in and partake of the abundance that they were now experiencing. And my question to us is, why is it that we cannot follow this example? Why is it that we tend to see someone else, especially who is of like-mindedness as us or who is doing something similar? Why do we tend to see them as the competition instead of collaborating? And there's so many ways that we can collaborate with each other who are doing the same thing. For example, I remember traveling to Dominica once, and my sister and I, we were trying to get a rental car, and every company we went to in Dominica offered the exact same price for the rental car. And this was amazing to me because I felt like they probably had some sort of meeting and came across an established price and be like, this is how much we are going to charge the people. Wherever they choose to get a rental, this was going to be the price. So we all get to eat. And there's so many things that we can do when we collaborate as opposed to competing with each other. We are all designed to solve a problem or more in the earth. And we may have different talents and different things, but we have the ability to solve a problem. This is why we were created and how we were designed by God. And if we can, I always say, establish a relationship with God to become wise enough to know what he created us for, and that we can become confident in that, then we will not become concerned with competing with a brother or a sister, because we know what is our gift, we know what is our talent, we know what is our purpose and what we were created to serve. So another person who's living in their purpose or in their dream or in their gift should not be a border to us. I've always had this mindset, especially lately, where I say, if I have 10 friends and we are all starting businesses as 10 friends and we all help each other to make it to a level where we are blessed to be a blessing, can you imagine how much more we could do as 10 friends who actually have enough to help each other than we have 10 friends who are competing to see who is going to be on top, and then you're going to have 5 of these friends perhaps who are on top and the other 5 are struggling, and that 5 is still coming to suck out from those that are actually thinking that they made it. So I wanted us to see the difference and the significance in collaboration. The devil does not like collaboration. He does not like family. He does not like the designed, ordained order of God, which is teamwork. Paul tells us in Ephesians that we are all members of one body. Just like we have a body and it has multiple parts, and they all work together to work effectively. It's the same way that we are designed. If each and every one of us would function in our own capacities, in our own gifts, in our own talents, and we collaborate while we do that, we can accomplish so much more. Now, I want you to think about every type of relationship and community or grouping that you are a part of. Let's take it, for example, your family. Every member in the family has a different position, a different purpose. So let's say we have a family of mother, father, and children. Then we have the responsibilities split between the mother and the father. For example, the children may be young. So let's say we have both parents working as opposed to one parent working. Both of them working, both of them are collaborating. They can now split the bill and make life easier. Collaboration also helps to make life easier. I would think of also my worship team, for example, where we try to do something special for each of us birthdays. And if I were to personally buy a gift for one person on the worship team, I would probably spend $150 on my own. But if I am going to do that and I have a team of, let's say, 6 or 7 people, and I split that $150 amongst the 6 of us, I am only paying $25. So not only does collaboration make way for improvement and significant development, but collaboration also makes way for lightening the burden of the work. And let's go back to your job, for example. If you are working in a company with multiple employees, it's the same thing. Each person carries their weight effectively in sync with collaboration. The company is able to move forward and the company is able to improve. When one member of that group is not doing what they are supposed to do, it stifles the entire company because other persons must now do their own responsibilities, take up their own responsibilities, and still take up the missing link or the weakest link. Much like when someone calls in sick and everybody has to fill in for that person. So collaboration is so beneficial, and I can see why Jesus chose to collaborate with at least 12 men when he came to do a great work in the earth. Jesus knew that in this collaboration he could reach so many more people in his physical form, and then he could have the support around him. Even though one of them was going to betray him, it was still for purpose. He knew that he could be more effective with a team. He gave us the best example. God is giving us a great example in choosing people to collaborate with us. And instead of competing, we can collaborate. I have a very good friend whom I admire very much, and she has a group of friends that she made maybe from high school or whatever, and they all support each other. And I admire that a lot in her because again, it's almost like an uncommon, abnormal thing to see a group of females who are not competing with each other, but they are rather supporting each other because they love to see growth, whether it's not happening for them at the time. This is a kind of mindset I would like to encourage us to establish within ourselves. You will be a much happier person and you will have more opportunities to be happy if you can be happy for others and you can collaborate with others, even when you secretly want it to be you. Because when you can do that and you can establish strong relationships, if you should reach in any situation in your life where you are going to need help, you have a bond with a group of people, again, that could collaborate and come on board to help you and assist you. You build a level of loyalty that can also bring forth growth and transformation. You have people around you who can inspire you, and when you collaborate with them, you can get more done. There is a saying that 2 heads are better than 1, and a lot of times we want to isolate ourselves from people because we think that we cannot trust people. And we always seem to think that someone is out to get us and stab us in the back. And we consistently repeat these kind of conversations and words to ourselves to the point where it becomes our culture or it's manifested in our lives. So I really want to explain to us in this episode the significance of collaborating instead of competing. Instead of becoming envious of the ones who have the same gift as you, to collaborate with them and add your own unique spin. For example, I am a teacher, and because I am a teacher, I know many other teachers. Now, a parent comes to me, I offer tutoring service, and a parent comes to me and says, I would like some tutoring, and let's say they ask me for tutoring in a specific subject area that I no longer offer or I'm not offering. But because I know a teacher who is good at it and can do it, I refer that parent to that teacher. So now I have a friend who's getting a referral from me, and vice versa. Or if I have a parent or a customer who comes to me and I know that after assessing them, I cannot provide the needs that they want, even if I may need them to sign up so I could get the money. But if I know I'm not going to be effective, however, I know of someone who is, then I can always refer them to that person. I have an episode where I've mentioned this before. Relationships run the world. It is easier to get assistance from someone who knows you personally than a complete stranger. And I say this to say, a lot of times you will hear people say, if you want something, you have to know somebody. It's all about who you know in this life, and this person could pull something over here for you so that you can get through. And this is what I would like us to understand: the significance of collaborating instead of competing. Competition is designed to separate us. Competition is designed to build demonic fruits in us that are not acceptable to God. And if we think back to the story that I read at the beginning of this, you will see that first we have the mentor, who is Jesus, who could see way beyond, who has the power to allow fish to come into the water, who gives an instruction. Now, because he was preaching previously and Peter had already started getting some form of trust in him, he decided, once you speak, because of the wisdom I just heard you share, if you say I could do it, then I'm going to do it. Here we are, collaboration providing inspiration, collaboration providing wisdom and encouragement to go forth and do something great. Motivation right there. All right, sometimes we just need someone to believe in us enough to tell us to go do something, and we get it done. That is collaboration. Then the second phase of collaboration in this story is Peter goes out, then he realizes with his team that their boat is getting full to the point that it is about to sink. Now, Peter, again, in their wisdom, signals the other boat. That's the second instance of collaboration in the same story. He is calling on the others to also get their fill. How many of us, when we have an overflow in our lives, think of others that we would like to bless and to help them or invite them to partake in that blessing with us? How many of us actually wants to do that? And so I want to encourage us to think of the example and the power in collaboration. Unity is strength. We say these words all the time. And a kingdom that is divided, Jesus said, cannot stand. We know that dividing and division brings separation and failure, whereas unity brings strength and a greater accomplishment and success. Yet we do not practice the knowledge that we know. We do not apply it. And I've done an episode about this before. Application. When are we going to start applying the very knowledge that we possess? So I want you to examine your life right now and all the aspects of your life. Do you collaborate in your family effectively so the family unit can function successfully? Do you collaborate with your church family so that it can function successfully? Do you collaborate on your job in the various workplaces that you work, whether you're an entrepreneur or you have a job? Do you collaborate effectively and bring your best towards the table so that the team can function effectively? If you're part of a school where you have kids going to school, do you collaborate with other parents and with that school to make sure that there is success? Or are you just talking and criticizing and pulling down the company or whatever other group you are associated with? This is a competition mindset that we do not want to have. We want to have a collaborative mindset. We want to have a mindset where we can work together and work together to the point where our boat is sinking because it's so rich with blessings. And I'm not just talking about physical blessing, but spiritually as well, spiritually sound in our minds, that we want to signal our partners and tell them, come and take part in this, come and be a part of this. So continue to do that. Do some examination. This is your call to action. Do some examination of self, character, and all the groups that you are a part of, and ask yourself, am I collaborating with the people that are around me that I am a part of, or am I busy competing with them to see who's going to finish the race first or who is going to come out on top? There's nothing wrong with being the best of yourself. And a lot of people I see posting is, the only person I'm competing with or trying to be better than is the person I was yesterday. And if you want to do some competition, this is the better place to start, to be better than the person you were yesterday. So this is my little essence for you in this episode, and I really pray and hope that you will apply it. I pray that a spirit of collaboration will come. I pray that you will find the people who are ordained by God to collaborate with you effectively. I pray that you will renew your mindset between competition and collaboration and see it as something that is much better. If you collaborate, you can bring forth much more fruits. You can do a lot more when you have more people working together for a common goal. I hope this blesses you. See you next time on the Essence of Life podcast. And remember, you can subscribe to wherever you listen. Remember, you can connect with me on Telegram. You can connect with me on Facebook, Natisha Alie-Grant's The Essence of Life podcast. You can connect with me on Twitter, Natisha Alie-Grant. You can connect with me where else? Everywhere else I am, just type in my name, Natisha Alie-Grant. You'll find me. Connect with the podcast and share it. Let us collaborate. I need my Essence listeners to start collaborating with me and sharing the podcast. Tell somebody, this is good. This has been blessing me. I love the lessons that are being taught. It's helping to transform my life by renewing my mindset and helping me to live the abundantly balanced life. Let's collaborate and see how much more we can accomplish. And as I like to say, remember, the kids are watching. Let us create a better world for the next generation who is about to come. Seva sounds good.